first about our opponent, just a lot of credit and respect to Coach Kennedy, the UAB program, their coaching staff and players. He's one of the best coaches in the league and one of the top coaches in the country, so I got a lot of respect for him and their program overall. So credit to them, and they did what they had to do to get a hard-fought road win. We got a bunch of warriors in that locker room. I know that as far as the ECU Pirates. We got a lot of warriors in there that fight, and unfortunately we just came up a player too short that I'm sure we'll discuss, but there's a bunch of warriors in that locker room that are hurt and pissed off right now, and we're going to keep our head down and keep getting better.
Coach, just to get you guys back in it, I mean, what, if anything, did you feel like changed in the second half where shots started falling and things started going your way?
Well, I mean, the first half was back and forth, and they had a run at the beginning of the second half and pushed it to 10. And we just kept fighting. And honestly, the first half and the beginning of the second half, it was transition defense. I mean, they were playing so fast, and we knew that they're a fast team. They got 4 or 5 guys out there that can drive the basketball and skilled players that can play. It's not just the 1 through 3. They're 4s and 5s, rebound the ball and push it, and they're fast. And they really hurt us. And the spearhead of it was Jacob Meyer. I mean, he had obviously a great game, but his transition push and them getting shots, and it was back and forth in the first half. We had the lead, they had the lead. We were down 2 at halftime, I believe. I think it was 2 at halftime. 2 at halftime. And in the second half, in that stretch where they pushed it to 10, it was transition defense. I thought we shored that up. We made some adjustments. We shored that up, and then it became a back and forth game where every single possession, where it's a turnover, a stop, a rebound, which the game came down to not being able to get an offensive rebound, ended up being the difference.
In that overtime period that you just talked about rebounding, I know you haven't watched it yet, but where do you feel like you guys came up just in short?
I mean, we already watched that last play, and we blocked out, we hit. It was a loose ball, 3 or 4 guys reached up, and the ball hit, and it just bounced out. We couldn't come up with that ball off the block out. It was Rivera and Reed were involved in a block out, and I'm going to tell you, Rivera is a heck of a player. Chapman's a heck of a player. Kyron Lindsay, these are great rebounders. We knew that was the challenge. That was a huge emphasis for us going into the game. They end up with 12 offensive rebounds. We end up with 14 offensive rebounds. They just got the last one. We had talked about in that final timeout, hey, let's get a stop. We knew exactly what we were going to do if we get the stop, and it was tie. Stop. If they had the lead, we had our scenarios planned, and the one thing that couldn't happen was a stop, offensive rebound, and them score. And so that's what the game came down to.
Seemed like this was Reed's just best overall performance this season, just in every aspect of the game. What was really clicking for him tonight?
Assertiveness, aggressiveness, and assertiveness, and just playing with the decisive mindset. We talked about, well, first we've talked with Reed about that his whole time here, let alone this whole season, and particularly the last 2 days, as we knew we were going to insert him back in the starting lineup. But every day our conversation with Reed is he's an X factor for this ball club when he plays with great decisiveness and assertiveness. And I thought he did that right from the jump. He practiced that way the last 2 days, and usually your practice habits carry over, and it did for him today, and really proud of his effort.
What do you feel like the team will, moving forward, now that you're getting a little bit more healthy, what do you think they can do now moving forward as far as continuity going?
Well, I think when you talk about health, you talk about getting Eli back, which is big. You talk about Dimitri Gardner, that's not a health situation, but he is, I think we saw that we're really excited about him. For him to come out here in his 3rd ball game and play the way he did versus a very good team that changes up their defenses. We knew going in, and we talked about it with our guys, that we thought we'd see a heavy dose of zone offense. We had our game plan on what we were going to do versus their zone. I thought Meach in a short time picked it up quickly. So again, it's not necessarily a health question for him, but that is a very productive body that we're excited about, that's getting integrated with the team. And then I will share this with Jay. Jay will be shut down for the rest of the season. So unfortunately, that's not a positive in terms of health, that we won't have Jay Woodard. But you know what? I think as we get Eli healthy and Dimitri begins to fully play 23 minutes tonight, hit 2 threes, 3 free throws, 3 rebounds, I thought his productivity was good. And the more guys we get helping Jordan Riley, and the more guys that step up and can take a little bit off his plate, that's going to be a positive for us, to your point about getting bodies back. And that, and that's in practice too. That's in practice too. The other day we had 6 guys out of practice. So getting bodies back helps us in practice as well, as much as it does in the game.
Just going back to Jordan, you can tell down the stretch he's tired, playing through bumps and bruises. Just kind of, what does that kind of leadership show the rest of the team and you on the bench?
Yeah, that he's a warrior, and we've talked about that with him. We've talked about him holding his teammates accountable and demanding from them what he needs and what we need. And he's doing it so much more than he was early in the season, and obviously than he did last year. And that's real growth. It is real growth to go do what he's doing every night from a statistical standpoint, from an effort standpoint. And Jordan is a two-way player. Jordan plays on the other end too. He gets rebounds, he crashes the glass, he does that, he guards. A lot of time he's guarding the other team's best player. So I think the guys truly respect it, not only his voice, but they respect what he's doing out there. That being said, you make a great point. He's fatigued down the stretch. It's hard, he's really battling. And we did not use that timeout down the stretch because we knew they would keep the ball out of his hands late. We wanted to get the ball in his hands. We knew what we were going to do, and we got the ball, and I told them in the locker room, we'll take that play down the stretch to tie the game or win the game 100 out of 100 times. Ball's in Jordan Riley's hands. He's made that play many times. It wasn't what he did. It was that we didn't come up with the loose ball offensive rebound on the other end.
I know you got a million things to consider when you're adding a guy mid-season. So what about Dimitri made him an attractive addition to bring on this team?
Yeah, his experience. He's had experience putting the ball in the basket, and he's an offensive talented player. Besides the fact that he's a great human being. I mean, he's the kind of guy we're going to be sad that we only got a chance to coach him for one semester. But he's an offensively talented player that knows how to score the basketball, and he's a team-first guy. And again, we had recruited him in the spring and summer, so we knew about him. So we were excited to be able to add him, and it was out of necessity. We needed to, but I think he's going to add a lot to our team in conference play.
Corey's been coming off the bench these last 2 games. Just what went into that decision?
I think Corey trying to help him be assertive, trying to help him maybe see the game, come in, be assertive right when he gets in the game. I thought he did a good job tonight. He had 4 assists. And I think Isaiah's been really aggressive in practice. And I thought Isaiah was very aggressive tonight. I mean, Isaiah gets the ball into our post players. He had 9 assists tonight. I mean, he gets the ball down into the post players. He fights the drive to get the ball in. He made a huge 3 late. And I just think that combination of both those 2 guys is really a strong combination at point guard. And I think it fits right now where we are in the season.
UAB basically took Gio out of the game for a good amount of play time. From your perspective, what specifically did you notice that they did to make him uncomfortable? And then how did he work with that discomfort throughout the game?
Well, I think we got the ball in him early, and that was big. I mean, they're a team that has great zone versatility. They change it up. They don't normally go to zone as quick as they did. We expected it. We talked about it with our team that we expected them to have to go to zone quickly if we were effective getting the ball to the paint. And you know what? Gio and Reed were awesome to start that game, getting the ball down inside and drawing fouls and offensive rebounding. So they went to zone. Well, we had some packages to get the ball inside for zone. We did that. I think what happened was 2 things. I think Gio picked up 2 fouls, so that, I have to really balance that, and I was trying to do that at the end of the half, subbing him in offense, defense with Eli. And then the second thing is UAB is very good at low strips on the ball. Ball comes down, they're getting it. And we talked about Gio keeping the ball up, and I thought when he did, he was effective. I thought when he put the ball down, they got hands on basketballs a lot, and give credit to UAB for doing that. That was part of the 17 turnovers that they forced. Even when we get an offensive rebound, the ball would come down and they got their hands on the basketball. And it's really pertinent that big guys, especially versus a team like that, keep the ball up. So to your point, I think they did a good job disrupting him there. And then he missed a couple shots that he normally makes. He missed a couple shots, and any athlete that can mess with you. And we talked about that in the timeout and the huddles. Hey, you got to push past that. You got to go to the next play. And I thought maybe the combination of all those things maybe didn't allow Gio to have the kind of offensive game that he's capable of having. He's much better than a 6 turnover game. And I know that. We've all seen it. But he did rebound with 12 rebounds, and he made free throws.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.